science.
Suffice it that the blood of 1,000 men and women was spilled within these walls. Limbs twisted and broken. Eyes gouged from bloody sockets. Flesh burned black.
Please. You await the dead. In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and nauseums. What you have to realize is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has by the tail.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is Monday, May 21st, 2007.
What's up, guys? It's Jay Scott.
It's Trent Lackey. Hey there, World Unexplained. That's our show.
That's right. Ours. It's ours.
I don't know what's going on there.
Tonight we have
It's
Dr. Rich Anders
Rich Anders.
is going to appear on our show,
There he is.
we'll get to him in a little bit. First, I want to talk about some breaking national news.
Breaking national news. What could it be, Scott?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about the whole situation here with the illegal aliens. And what they're doing to America, and what the liberals want to do to America by allowing all these people in. You know, what do you think of that, Trent?
I think in a lot of ways, I'm sort of divided about the issue. On the one hand, all right, hold on. Now,
You're a John Kerry.
No. I'm not a flip-flopper at all. I'm just divided. On the one hand, there's a lot of jobs. I myself, as you well know, recently stopped working at a job that basically nobody wants to work for. Nobody wants to work it. And I'm sure that job is one of thousands of jobs out there that basically Americans just don't want to work. They don't want to do it. I'm serious, you know? So who's going to work it?
Well, I
basically.
mean,
So that's the one
So
hand.
you would rather have the illegals come over?
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that they fill a niche for those jobs that people just basically don't want to work at. Now, I'm not saying they need to be illegal.
No, what I'm saying, why can't we get legalized aliens to come in
Perfectly
and fill that
fine.
niche?
That's what I'm saying. And I think in a lot of ways...
why don't we give these people work visas?
Exactly. And, you know, that they're here to work, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're really here. I've talked to a number of them about, like, well, what are you going to do when you make a lot of money and you've gotten yourself situated? What are you going to do? A lot of them say, yeah, exactly. They're going to go home. So they're not really being all that patriotic. You know, it's really messed up.
Here's what's going to happen, though, if the liberals and the weak-backed conservatives move on this thing.
Weak-backed conservatives?
Spineless conservatives like George W. Bush. Here's what's going to happen if they get together and this thing becomes a reality. First of all, Social Security, which is already ailing in and of itself, is going to take a dramatic hit.
Yeah.
Secondly, Medicare is going to take a dramatic hit. Thirdly, the two-party system that we now have is going to take another dramatic hit because
you think there's
the
going to
party
be a
of the
third block?
handouts. The party of the handouts, which is the Democratic Party, they're the ones that's going to be handing out freebies to these people, the welfare nation that we're going to become. And what's going to happen, you see, is that's going to take over. And guess who all of these newly found American citizens are going to vote for in the next election?
50-50, man.
It's about 50-50. Well, I don't know. I mean, even if you look at the illegal immigrants that come through now, a lot of those people vote Democratic.
You know, but this is a problem. This
Statistically.
is an American problem anyway from time immemorial since our nation was founded. For example, remember that movie Gangs of New York?
Yeah.
I really, really like that movie a lot. But there are a lot of issues about immigration in that movie that are probably still very relevant today. You know, you get these guys that get off the boat. Okay, and in those days it was the boat. You know, they
in these
sailed
days
across,
it's the fence.
right? Or the actually more likely the river. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they get off the boat, and all of a sudden, here you go. Vote for blah, blah, blah. Already they start their own immigrant voting blocks. These people don't speak very good English. You know, they're easily
that's
controlled.
That's another
so
thing
it's a
that's
dangerous
happen.
voting block
It's
that
already
doesn't
happened.
need to exist.
Look, I was at McDonald's the other day, and I saw
know.
the advertisement for the Shrek glass that I guess you can buy with whatever, and yeah, and it said Shrek, and it said donkey, and it had that marked out, or it said Shrek, and it marked it out and said donkey cup or whatever, but underneath it had it marked out and it said burrow. And so it's like we are basically. We're not. These people aren't assimilating. These people are making demands on us. First of all, and they don't even have a right to make a demand. They're breaking the law. Mm-hmm. And secondly, they're wanting us to cater to them.
Remember when in Quebec, Scott?
Yeah.
And remember
Bill
how,
101. That's what you're talking about. All the French had to go on top of the English.
No. Well, no, I really wasn't talking about that. I was just talking about a very simple point about the sheer amount of tax money that goes into that province printing everything out in English and in French. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems entirely unnecessary. Of course, the Quebecois have their own rights. They're historically been there, and they're very nationalistic, and in a lot of ways, they have a lot more argument.
But with Bill 101, you see, the French had to be so much bigger than the English. The English always had to come under it. Mm-hmm. But here in America, we have the same size English, Spanish. And it's what do you think this new flood of immigrants is going to do to us? And not only that, they're going to be able to bring in their mom, their dad, their grandma, their everybody, their brother, their sister.
I think the immigration reform. I think legalizing. Okay, you and I have a mutual friend from a country in South America. I think you know who I'm talking about, Scott. Right? Yeah, you do.
Okay.
But anyway,
I was thinking of our mutual Jewish Russian friend in Florida.
Well, that's
legally immigrated.
Well, that's my. Either way, but our mutual friend from Venezuela, whose name we won't speak of, has had enormous, insurmountable difficulties trying to get into this country.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And incredible difficulties. And he's played the game, for a while.
Oh, I know. And they're paying lawyers. They're paying.
And it's not fair for him because he's trying to get in here. He's taking all kinds of means and methods. And I think somehow in that way, the process that it takes to make somebody a legal citizen is really, really cumbersome and overburdened with red tape. Now, I think there's some fundamental principles you have to follow, to become a citizen.
No,
obviously,
I agree.
For example, English, you have to be proficient in the English language. I'm totally
they're
for
the
national language.
They're the ones that broke the law.
They're
the ones, and now they're wanting amnesty and they're wanting to make demands.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think it's wrong.
I'm done with that for now. I want to. I'm done with that for now. I want to move on here because we got a couple more things I want to cover before we get into the show. And one of those is, well, first of all, write your senators. Write your senators, write your congressmen. Tell them you're not going to vote for them. Tell them you're going to vote them out if they do this to you. As a concerned voter, I've already sent mine out, and they know who I am. But anyway, write them. Get on the internet, do a search on Google.
Get mad at these people.
Get mad. Let them know that you're not going to stand for them giving amnesty to illegal aliens. All right. Second thing I want to mention was, the Reverend Falwell died, and I thought that was awful. I know Chuck hates him because Chuck, he's a liberal agnostic, but anyway,
not only because the guy was just a Democrat.
He just doesn't like he doesn't like him. But anyway, I like the guy. I'm going to mention that. It was a sad day.
He was a very, very outstanding man in his political field, and he basically unified the Christian conservative right.
Yeah, he did.
And it was a faction.
He created it.
There was no faction that existed prior to that. Now, whether or not I'd necessarily agree with all of his points, I don't know. He probably was a fairly good man, and he probably did as well as he could. You know what I'm saying?
No, I like him. Anyway, next thing, and that was just a short thing. We got to get our guest on for tonight. But the next thing, I want you guys to see this story. This is an actual story on the internet. You have to search for it now. Go to foxnews.com. Fair and balanced. Anyway, and you just type in "that's so gay" in the search box, and it'll pull this thing up. Santa Rosa, California. Santa Rosa, California. A judge ruled Tuesday that a high school student who was sued after being disciplined, the high school student sued after being disciplined and then teased for using the phrase "that's so gay" is not entitled to monetary damages. Now, here's what happened. This high school student, this 18-year-old girl, was getting ridiculed in her high school in California. We know all about their homosexual San Francisco values. She was being ridiculed because she said, "That's gay," or "That's so gay." You know how we used to do it, and I still do it now. That's gay. And we use
Doesn't
it
really mean anything.
in a
It's just
derogatory manner to mean it's dumb, it's stupid, it's gay, right?
Yeah, it's just.
Well, anyway, she was being teased because she was a Mormon. So she's getting teased, but none of the kids get punished for teasing her about her religion. But she gets punished because she said that's so gay. Apparently, the school system believed that this was insensitive to gay people. Yeah, this was insensitive. So her family did the right thing, and they sued the school system.
Well, that's totally. I mean, because that's a
Yeah.
clear and apparent double standard.
And
know?
exactly. And said First Amendment right violation. And so she sued the school system for monetary damages, yada, yada,
That's
yada.
pretty ridiculous.
And
actually.
Anyway, the girl apparently just graduated, but it basically, the judge threw it out and said that, that's not a problem because, that's just tough, I guess. But so you can actually be punished now in a public school system for saying that's so gay. You can be disciplined for that.
But people can still pick on you because you're religious.
Because you're a Mormon or because you're whatever.
And I know, Scott and I are not really too keen on Mormonism, but it's the principle that counts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's totally the principle. Exactly. Like in a chat room, that's gay. It is gay. It's very, very gay.
That article's gay.
When did we stop living in America? I guess since we're going to be living in Mexico soon, we better not sprout any anti-Catholic things.
Southern California.
Oh, just Southern California. Look around, Chuck. My God, you know where we're at. We're in North Carolina here.
Man, okay, we can go on and on and on about it.
It just makes me irate. It does. It makes me irate.
And there's other points we could bring up about all this, but I'm not.
But that's gay. Yeah. That is gay. And that's just the bottom line. That's neither here or there. Tonight we have a special guest coming back to the show.
Round two.
Rich Anders. Rich Anders is going to talk about personal salvation, the Rich Anders way. Rich, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. How about you guys?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
We were just having a discussion about the illegal immigrants. What do you think about all that?
That's an unsolvable problem. Cannot be solved. Because there are too many divergent opinions and tendencies within the American politicians and public, and this is a real mess.
Now you live in Georgia, right, Rich?
Yeah.
Now you came over in the right way, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it cost you probably a lot of money, and you probably had to do all these things to get over here, right?
It cost me dearly because I'm married an American.
Well, there we go. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's
just move on and
let's talk about the personal plan of salvation, the Rich Anders way.
Well, can I start with an introduction?
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
Last night and the night before, I was watching the History Channel, and it's quite interesting that. There were two connected topics. The first night they brought the end of the world, and the second night they brought a very, very good feature about prophecies concerning the end time. And I went and looked into the whole thing, and I think before we talk about personal salvation, it's probably very interesting for you to know that there's a lot of, information about predictions or prophecies about things to come, which got to be really amazingly synchronized. So if you want to, I can start talking about these things.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we know from the Bible that the end of the world is a topic which has been around for a long time, but it's not only in the Bible. In ancient time, there was a seer near Rome. Her name was Sibyl. In Greece, it was the Oracle of Delphi. And these oracles, which essentially translate into the modern word seers, talked about the end times too. They were not very precise. We got a little bit more information from a second group of predictions. And one thing is that I heard yesterday on the TV that the Hopi Indians are preparing since 1940 for the change from the fourth to the fifth world, which they think is imminent. The next thing is that there was an English seer called Mother Krypton. She lived in the very early Middle Ages, and she was very famous at that time, and she made predictions, and one of them was that the world went through cycles of 800 years, and the last one, which started in 2004, she said would be the last one.
Okay, so we're looking at 2804.
You probably know Merlin from Hollywood Productions.
Who?
But Merlin.
Oh, Merlin.
Actually, hello?
Merlin the magician.
Yeah. Merlin. He was a famous seer and prophet in the early Middle Ages. And he also predicted an end of this world, and he said something which really fascinated me, because one of his predictions was that the planets will leave their present orbits and will show up in different orbits. And that's something that, besides me, nobody else ever had said,
Okay.
Then more precise predictions we have. There's a group of three. One is the Saint Malachi, Edgar Casey, and the Benedictine monks. Now this is very interesting because these three predicted the lineage of papacy. Saint Malachi came into Rome in 1139, and he had a vision, and he gave the precisely and surprisingly accurate lineage of 123 popes, which he highlighted with something that was typical for them. For instance, he called the one who had 3 lilies on his coat of armor the man of the lilies, and and like this. And the last 10 were presented on the TV. And according to Saint Malachi, the Pope Benedict the 16th, which is there right now, is the last but one Pope.
Yeah.
The very last one he called Peter. Edgar Casey made a prediction that the present Pope would be the last one, and the Benedictine monks had made for a long time the prediction that the Pope would be one of them.
But couldn't Edgar Casey have stolen that prediction from the Benedictine monks?
No, that's not how it works.
Well, I mean, if they'd made the prophecy earlier.
No, Edgar Casey was a serious man, and he had no. If anybody was stealing or was picking up that prediction, it was not him, because he was in a trance, but the entity that spoke through him could have done it. Anyway, the Benedictine monks for a long time have predicted that the last pope would be one of them. Well, how more can you do than call yourself Benedict XVI?
Yeah.
So that gets a little bit very, very close to the real thing.
But Rich, I mean, you have to admit, I mean, everybody's been predicting the end of the world from time immemorial.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back. I mean, you can just in the 1900s alone. I can't even tell you the number of predictions. I remember one particularly in 1988, the book 88 Reasons Why the Rapture is in 1988 came out. That really didn't work out.
Can I know what you're saying. Let me finish, though, because I have one more segment.
Okay, go ahead.
And when I have this segment, we can talk tachlis, as the Jews say.
Okay.
There is one more group, and it comprises the Maya calendar, the Chinese I Ching, the Pyramid of Gizeh, and something called WebBot. You know what that is?
It's called what?
It's called what?
WebBot.
WebBot.
Yeah.
Oh, you're familiar with this, Chuck?
WebBot.
What is it, Rich?
Something very surprising. These people have designed a number of years ago a software program to predict the movements on the stock market.
How's that working out for them?
Very well.
Buy Exxon Mobil. They should have told me that 10 years ago.
What they found to their surprise was that this software also provided information about imminent disaster, like the tsunami in Malaysia, like 9/11, wars, etc. And what they say is what really strikes them very much is an incredibly strong mass of negative situations that come out of the internet in the year 2012.
So the internet's still going to be around in 2012. The show must go on. I said so. The internet's still going to be around in 2012, according to this.
But from what I hear, I see here, I'm not sure it will be around after that, because. Are you familiar with the calendar of the Maya?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean that they have an extremely precise astrological and astronomical knowledge and method of predicting future events like solstices hundreds and thousands of years before they happen. And the interesting thing is that their calendar ends the 21st of December in the year 2012.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And parallel to this, there's no connection, but there's something called I Ching, which is an ancient Chinese method of foretelling the future. It also ends on December 21st of 2012. Now that is a coincidence which I believe is gives a lot of food for thought.
Certainly.
There's also something in the Great Pyramid of Gizeh, which is the small hallway which leads up to the king, I believe, to the king's chamber. And according to people who deal with this, they believe that it goes until 2023, which is a slight difference to the others.
That pathway you're talking about, the pyramids of Giza, it is a. It measures astronomical occurrences. Is that correct? At the pyramid of Giza.
All these ancient methods include not only astronomical but also astrological features.
Oh, I see.
What comes out of the whole thing is that there's an awful lot of evidence beyond coincidence, I believe, that points to 2012 as a possible date for an end of this world and a change of worlds. And though, because this is the field that I'm dealing with very much, I wrote all this down, I taped everything, and if I have further information, I can email it to you. The only thing that's missing in the lineup of all the prophets and seers is the greatest prophet of all times.
Okay.
Rich Anders.
Oh, Lord. I knew that was coming.
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, man.
What?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was coming. You surprise me every time, Rich.
Well,
so you can.
if you had taken the time to read what I sent you.
I did take the time to read that.
Okay, well, now let me tell you something. All these prophecies, at the very best, they give you a precise date. None of them tells you what will happen and what will come afterwards. And if you go to my book, God's Ultimate Task, it gives you a precise description of the events of the end of the world and of the change of the world and of the return of paradise, the kingdom of God. If you read that, it's part 3 in my book, God's Ultimate Task. You have a very, very precise information what I think will happen.
Yes, I was reading that when you're talking about the change of worlds, and I know we don't have much time. We're about to go to break here in about 15 seconds, but I don't know if I can cram this all in one time. You know what?
Okay.
Well, anyway, but yeah, you know what?
We'll take a break, Rich. We're going to be right back, okay? Hang tight with us.
Yeah.
Remember when paranormal radio used to be open to new age ideas and every possible form of spiritual enlightenment?
It's a religion based on the understanding of consciousness, the understanding of nature, in particular fertility laws.
To my spirit guides are those who have passed over. And, I've always been able to see colors around people, which I've known now to be called auras.
Maybe coming to the close of one kind of psychic life, and I very much believe that this was what the Maya were really trying to talk about.
Well, we're not putting up with that. World of the Unexplained. Conservative paranormal talk. Big on God. Big on guns. With your hosts Jay Scott and Trent Lackey. Heard Mondays, live from 8 to 10 Eastern on Planet Paranormal Radio.
And we have returned on World of the Unexplained. We always say we're back, so I've got to get something better. We have returned. Give us a call tonight if you want to speak with us or Rich Anders or both of us. The number here is 877-722-7382. That's toll-free in the United States and Canada, but not Mexico. Number again, 877-722-7382.
Oh,
and locally at 336. It probably is toll-free in Mexico. I was joking. Only if you're coming here illegally, it's toll-free. No. The number locally is 336-996-1596. Go ahead, Trent. You had a question for Rich.
Right. Okay. Well, we were talking about the change of worlds, and when I was reading what you sent us, Rich, I was going to ask about I forgot the guy's name again, Michio Kaku, and his theory of the superstring theory, multiple universes and worlds and planets, and I just take it from there, Rich.
Well, Michio Kaku is one of the most eminent physicists of our time, together with Ed Mitten and together with people like Brian Greene. And these people are, co-developed together the theory of the strings and superstrings. And now Ed Mitten has submitted the M theory, which unifies everything so that you have finally a unified theory which eluded Albert Einstein as long as he lived. The thing is that they realize that the matter essentially has two natures. It has an energy nature and it has a matter nature. And the matter oscillates between the stages of energy and matter. And movement occurs in the stage of energy. And when the energy has moved, the matter materializes accordingly, and that's movement in the material plane. So it's important to know this, because if you have read my book or what I sent you, you might realize that I claim that a change of worlds happens in one timeless moment, which means the change of worlds happens in the energy phase. And when these changes have occurred in the energy phase, in the next matter phase, the planet materializes according to the changed energy situation, and it can be that it's in a different orbit. It will have the location of the poles elsewhere. That's the shifting of the poles. And of course, these events are accompanied by horrible cataclysms and catastrophes.
So you're saying that when the matter changes, okay, the planet Earth is as it is right now, north-south poles, and then all of a sudden the energy is going to change the matter, and the new world will is it going to be superimposed on the old one, or is it actually the same world that's actually moving and changing?
No, it's different. You are using every day your computer with software, which you have programmed on CDs or DVDs. Mm-hmm. If you want to change a software, you just let's assume you use a CD. You take it out of the computer, you put in a different CD, and you have a different software running. As incredible as it sounds, I believe this is exactly what happens with a planet, with a change from one world to the next, from 1 second to the other. The spiritual patterns which determined everything on a planet during a specific period of time are exchanged against another set of patterns. And that's a change of worlds, and it can happen in, as I said, in a fraction of a second.
No, according to your book, Rich, you believe that, and call me out if I'm wrong here, but according to your book, you believe that the reason that Jesus Christ can offer one salvation is because so many people believe in him and believe in what he said, and that gives him power by that belief. Yes. So theoretically, well, let me ask a question. Theoretically, if everyone believed that you were the savior of the world, then you would be.
What was that?
I have no idea. Wasn't on our end.
Somebody didn't like your question.
Apparently not. Anyway, so did you hear my question?
Yes, you said if everybody believes that I'm the savior of the world, it would make me the savior.
Yeah, is that correct? I mean, that's my logical.
Or really, Scott,
that.
or me, or D, or Chuck.
So we could all be saviors of the world if enough people believed.
No. No, you have to be a god to be able to do that.
Oh, okay.
You probably are human, so you cannot do it.
How do you know, though?
Because I'm being told by my contacts.
Oh, okay, that's right. I forgot that you do. You talk to who is it you talk to again telepathically?
Well, I talk to a number of spiritual entities, and lately I've not talked to any extraterrestrials. But while I was in St. Thomas, I did talk to several parties of extraterrestrials. Right now, I'm just limited to in the number of contacts that I have to only several contacts. And the thing is,
well, how do you know they're not lying to you?
I know it exactly because do you remember when I told you that I saved, for instance,
Frank Sinatra? Yeah, yes, I remember when you told me
favorite moments.
You saved Frank Sinatra from hell. I think that's when I called you an antichrist.
Yeah, well, Antichrist wouldn't do it because he's in hell. Anyway, do you know the old English saying, "The truth will set you free"?
Yeah, that's what we're waiting to hear.
So, if they lie, they cannot achieve the purpose of their conversation. So they have to tell the truth. For instance, when they're in hell, telling the truth liberates their positive spiritual energies with positive patterns from the negative energies, and they can leave hell. And that's what makes me an interesting partner for them, because, I don't know how many people can talk to spiritual entities in hell, but I can. And when they talk to me, the truth sets them free, and they come into a positive spiritual realm.
Now, how do you know that the people that you're talking to aren't really demons and they're just pulling your leg, Rich?
That's very easy to find. Let's take the case of Princess Diana.
Okay.
Princess Diana had this accident, and she, you remember maybe that I told you everybody who dies through violence goes to hell.
Yes, I remember you telling me that.
So when she was in hell, one part of the thing.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't that mean that Jesus Christ went to hell after he was crucified?
I would assume so.
Okay, so Kennedy is JFK in hell?
He was, but he's the big hero who freed.
Did you liberate JFK and RFK as well?
Yeah.
You did.
All you need to do is you read my book, The End of the World and What. You have about 30 celebrities who talk about their experiences after dying.
Uh-huh.
And there's a certain number of them who died by violence, for instance, who were in hell, and those they all came out.
Now, did you liberate Hitler?
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Maybe there's a few guys that are in hell because they're supposed to be in hell, and maybe they don't need to be liberated,
Well,
what about that?
You want me to give you an example?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You remember that Princess Diana, before she died, was associated with a guy called Dodi.
Right, Dodi Al-Fayed.
Yeah. Now, Dodi and Diana, they were both in hell because, they died through violence. Now, when Diana came out, Dodi, I had no contact with him. Then his spirit made contact with him and asked me to get him out of hell as well. And I said, well, I don't have any commission to do that because there's somebody who has a very tight control over everything that happens in the spiritual realm and also over me.
So there's some people that you can't pull out of hell, right?
So, well, I tell you what happened. So Dodi said he would give me $5 million if I got him out of hell, and he had the money prepared for Princess Diana on a Swiss bank account in Basel, Switzerland.
Now, he did this from hell.
Yeah.
He got the money wired from hell.
Or maybe he gave him,
No, it goes different. He said he gave me his number.
Okay.
He gave you the numbers to access.
It was the BNP, Banque Nationale de Paris in Basel, Switzerland.
Okay.
And he said if I get him out of there, he will also give me the code word. He gave me the number, which was 47,000 something. But he said, if I get him out of there, he would give me the password so I can take that money, which he had earmarked for Princess Diana.
Okay.
So I thought that sounds good. I was ready to go ahead and go to Basel.
Well, yeah.
You're a capitalist, you know. Yeah, I can understand that.
Why not?
Well, $5 million is a very, very attractive sum. So when I was thinking about the whole thing, the boss made contact with me and said, Dodi is not going out of hell, and you are not going to get these $5 million. Forget it. So I didn't get the money.
Okay, so
And he's still in hell there.
yeah, that's is it still there somewhere?
Well, who's this guy's boss? I mean, or who's the boss that's contacting
the
you?
devil,
I guess that's
Scott.
what I want to know.
The boss?
Yeah, who's the boss?
devil,
Well,
Scott.
I can tell you who he is. I assume you know is the Trinity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're familiar with the Trinity.
Yeah.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Well, some of our guests don't believe in all that, but we do.
Okay.
Okay, now, do you have an idea what the Holy Spirit is?
Yeah, I've got an idea.
No, tell me.
Oh, the Holy Spirit is the third part of the Trinity that indwells all believers in Christ.
Oh, well, you have no idea who it is.
Oh, who? Then,
okay. Well, who is it?
Who is it, Rich?
Yeah.
Do you know what the pantheistic ideas are about divinity?
Yeah.
It says that God is in everything throughout the entire universe.
I'm familiar with that belief. Yeah.
So God is the spirit of the positive spirit of the entire universe, as conceived under the pantheistic theory. In reality, God is a physical person working for the Holy Spirit, which is the spirit of the entire universe, what some Indian tribes call the great spirit of the universe, or Manitou.
Uh-huh.
And this spirit is in charge of everything. It controls everything, and it's really the God of pantheistic religions, which I call, which it calls itself, the positive principle. Now, the negative spiritual energies of the universe are also pantheistic, and they are not the devil, because the devil is a person. The negative spiritual energies of the universe are called the negative principle. And these two together make up everything that's in the universe, the spiritual energies and matter.
Okay.
Did you follow me?
Yeah, we're following.
So who was it that told you couldn't pull Duddy Fayed out of hell? Which one was it? Oh, okay.
The positive principle is the boss.
Okay, I see.
Seen the way I see it, I'm just a puppet on a string, and it pulls the strings, and I move accordingly.
Well, I would kind of like to go back to this changing of worlds thing, and also you had hold on.
I was going to say, he says Jesus was a reincarnation of some guy named.
First of all, it formed. Well, okay, that one really was going, but Akhenaten formed the Aten, or the sun disk, and then from there it turned to Zoroastrianism and Ahura Mazda and Ahriman, and then from there it was Jesus, and then you go on to say that Jesus was once again reincarnated as Muhammad somewhere in that text. Am I on the ball there as far as what you wrote?
I'm impressed. You did your homework.
Mm-hmm.
You got it right. See, I can give you more information, because I think since most people will be looking at watching Dancing with the Stars anyway, I can give away all the secrets. Nobody will hear them.
There'll be some people hearing it.
At least very few. It's not dangerous.
Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, okay.
So, people
will hear about it, Rich.
So,
okay. Now let me tell you. Well, I gave you the explanation who the Holy Spirit is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I give you the explanation who God the Father and God the Son are.
Okay.
Before this world, there was another world on the surface of this planet, and the main race were the Atlanteans.
Yeah.
And when
their evil cousins came down.
Yeah, and when the evil cousins took over their world, the Atlanteans knew that they couldn't stay anymore, and when the evil cousins, the Egyptians, made a change of dimension and brought this present world into being, most of the Atlanteans did not make it into this dimension because there were positive energies that were not admitted here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me stop you there for a second. How does that coincide with Plato's story of the... Was it Plato? I'm pretty sure it was Plato. Plato's story of the legend of Atlantis, where the island was destroyed by their own hubris and pride. How does that fit in?
That's a fairy tale. It's not true.
Oh, Plato.
That's what they understood. I mean,
Okay.
how can you expect these ancient people to understand very complex spiritual situations that I, who is working with it all the time, have a hard time to really cope with properly.
But apparently Plato knew about Atlantis, obviously. He heard about this thing called Atlantis, right?
Yeah.
But he got the story wrong, huh?
Well, if you read the article that I have on my internet, it says Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
You will get to know the entire story, why Plato knew about it, what was the real thing, where he was wrong, and what he used Atlantis for, but also the very important information about what Atlantis really was and where it is now and why it will come back.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I didn't read that article, but I promise I will, Rich.
You still have it's still there. You still can.
Oh, I will.
And you can log on to your site. That's richanders.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay. richanders.com.
Yeah,
you can read all these articles.
Now, what about, okay, so in that first change of worlds, there were 5 tribes of gods, you say? Now, what were those tribes? I mean, I'm assuming they're located with a certain geographic or cultural grouping, right?
They came from
what were the 5?
They came from a planet called Lucifer.
The planet was
really?
Yes. And Lucifer, through religion, became really bedeviled. And I tell you the story.
Yeah, well, Dee had a good question.
Yeah,
is Lucifer the larger planet that exploded that Earth came out of?
That came to the asteroid belt and all that
That's right.
stuff.
Okay, all right.
Was the name of the planet that exploded when the dinosaur clan of the gods on the planet of Lucifer initiated a change of dimension which went wrong.
Okay, no.
It's a tricky business.
I would imagine so.
Seems that way.
So what were the 5 tribes of gods? I mean, you mentioned the Egyptians, and apparently the Greco-Roman
the
pantheon.
Japanese.
The Japanese.
Well,
What were the other 2?
Well, I can tell you the name. The Egyptians the gods were not organized in nations. They were organized in family clans.
Right, that's what you say.
The Egyptians were called the serpent clan. That's why serpent in Egypt was the symbol of divinity.
Okay.
In Mesopotamia was the bull clan.
The what clan?
Bull.
The bull. Okay.
Bull.
Yeah.
You may. I don't know if you ever looked at Mesopotamian and Iraqi artifacts. You see that all these people and a lot of bull horns as adorn all kinds of monuments.
Mm-hmm. And also the legend of the Minotaur, for example. But go on.
Exactly. Now in Japan, you had the Dragon Clan.
Okay, the Dragon Clan.
And up to this date in East Asia, which belonged to the territory of the Dragon Clan, the dragon is not the evil animal that we see it in the West.
Right, he's benevolent.
Yeah, it's benevolent. It's a symbol of divinity and of power.
Okay, what were the other 2 then after that?
Then you had the one in India, or not so much in India, but you're familiar with the word Indus Valley?
Yeah, the Indus Valley, Mohenjo-Daro and all that.
That's
Go
where
ahead.
the Tiger Clan landed.
The Tiger Clan, okay.
Yes. And in South America and Central America, you had the Eagle Clan.
The what clan? Eagle?
Eagle Clan.
Okay.
My kung fu is better than yours.
What is the symbol of the United States?
Oh, I
the
see.
eagle.
The eagle.
So what about the rest of the world then? I mean, what about Polynesia and the Aboriginal regions? What about Central Asia and, South America, North American Indians?
No, Polynesia and Australia belong to the Dragon Clan.
Oh, I see. So basically these 5 clans divvied up the world, basically.
Split up the world among themselves.
Yeah, and apparently they had a big war, and the Egyptians came on top. The Egyptian clan,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry. I'm kind of talking.
We're seeding through all this now.
Yeah,
No, don't be sorry. You make. I'm impressed because you make very smart and valid questions and remarks, and I see that you dealt with the topic, and I'm impressed favorably.
Well, thank you, Rich. Yeah, we told you to read.
Yeah, we read it.
So the Egyptians, after that, they instigated this change of worlds, the first change of worlds. Is that how it goes, or explain that a little bit better?
The first change of worlds happened when the planet Lucifer exploded.
Okay.
5 clans of the gods fled into space.
Okay.
When the home planet was destroyed, they had nowhere to go but here.
Okay.
Now, because of this explosion of that planet Lucifer, this planet, which had not been accessible to the evil gods before because it was in a dimension in which they could not live, changed dimension, and they were able to invade this planet, which at that time had the world which was on the planet before the present one.
Kind of like the illegals are trying to invade this planet now. Anyway, go ahead.
You see, there's a precedent for everything.
See, exactly.
So where are the Atlanteans come from? They didn't come from the planet Lucifer. I mean, where are they coming from?
Well, the Atlanteans originally came from the planet Lucifer a long, long time ago, when things on the planet Lucifer started to become nasty and evil. 3 Atlanteans fled.
Oh, I see. So they were all on the same god planet, so to speak.
Yes, but the difference is this: that the Atlanteans, since they remained positive, retained their bodily appearance as well. So the Atlanteans, where the men were about 8 feet tall and the women about 7 feet. Whereas the invader gods, when they came here, had retrogressed to the point that they were dwarfs. They were 2.5 to 3 feet tall.
Oh.
That's why you find in many cultures, like in the Indian cultures, figurines or even beliefs that hold dwarfs in high respect and midgets, because they think that these are gods which were born among people.
Okay, well, here's another question then. How does, for example, let's just say the Egyptian pantheon, although I can use another couple of examples, but why was it that the Egyptians represented these gods in anthropomorphic designs? Why were they represented as, for example, Horus in the form of an eagle, or Set as the form of a jackal-headed, man-beast combinations? Where'd that come from?
That's a very valid question. It's a very easy answer. When you go and buy something, you buy a trademark, like a cereal called,
Lucky Charms.
Right. Let's go something else.
Okay.
We have trademarks.
Okay, yeah.
And one god needed to discern himself or herself from the other gods. So they chose an animal as their symbol. So the ibis god and the hippopotamus goddess meant something to them. It was a very strong distinction to the other gods. You understand?
I think so. And so the worshippers could sort of direct their attention to someone, okay, that's Set versus Amun-Ra or whatever. But go ahead.
And then you have, of course, among the gods, you have a hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
The highest of the gods in one pantheon would become the sun god, for instance, because that gave him the most power spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And as the ranks became lower and lower, deities, for instance, were just to go with some kind of an animal like a jackal god or so.
Mm-hmm.
And those were essentially trademarks.
Okay, so I guess we only got about 2 minutes left, but what happened to them? I mean, there are these gods, and people worshipped them, and the gods, I'm assuming, well, according to the book, kind of absorbed the negative energy and made themselves stronger. I mean, but where'd they go?
Don't forget the positive energy.
Yeah. When there was, the last change of dimension was about 3,500 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And the new world, where we are now, was spiritually programmed to be a world for humans only.
Okay.
So this world did not admit any gods, and they all perished.
So they're not alive anymore. They're not floating around in another alternate reality somewhere.
They are not alive in their original bodies, but their spiritual entities split up and now are housed in human bodies, and these rascals are still around.
Oh.
Like Stalin.
Oh, little shards of evil energy inside people.
That's it.
If you look at all these evil people who are responsible for mass murders, for
Hitler,
war,
Stalin,
all kinds of horrors for mankind.
Pol Pot.
Pardon me?
Oh,
No,
we're naming off dictators that killed people.
Yeah, we're naming them.
Yeah, the people who are causing that are the spiritual entities of the gods and incarnated in human bodies.
Well, Rich, we're going to have to take our last break, or not our last break, but our big, long break at the top of the hour here. When we come back, we're gonna delve more into this and give Rich a hard time like we normally do, but he likes it. And we're going to ask him a question I know Chuck's been dying to ask for quite some time.
I tell you, I enjoy our talk today very much because I see that you have become quite familiar with the topics.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll be right back, Rich. Hang tight with us. We're going to be right back, guys.
And we're back, World of the Unexplained. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You just talked about not using that. Okay. My bad.
We've returned.
We have returned to World of the Unexplained. Anyway, the numbers are, guys, and you know that we know that you're out there.
And you want to call in
And
tonight.
you want to call because it's crazy.
It's getting ready to get a lot crazier.
Anyway, the numbers are 1-877-722-7382 or 1-877-SCARE-YOU-TOO. The local number is 336-996-1596, and Sky just recognized that our toll-free number has 3 sevens in it, or 4, and the local number has 3 sixes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Scott, take it away,
So
Scott.
anyway, now, Chuck had pointed out an idea to me, and I don't know, would you consider yourself Aryan, Rich? Would you consider yourself furthering the ideology of Madame Blavatsky and this whole this whole Aryan race idea that the the Nazi mysticism, the fifth race, the Atlanteans, the
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed like that.
No, it's okay. I mean, we're just. I mean, this is just something that come to our attention last time, and something we want to talk about.
Are you a theosophist? I guess, really.
What?
Right? Never mind.
What did you say?
Are you a theosophist? Theosophist. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'm something very much different.
Okay. Well, that went well. No, are you familiar?
Who I am?
You are familiar with what we're talking about, though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these are the topics I'm dealing with all the time and have dealt with for many, many years.
Okay.
But I can give you an idea who I am, and it's very simple. There are spiritual programs, and a world can be programmed by programming the spiritual energies of the world. Okay? Now, a person living here in this world can do things to program change of worlds, but it's very dangerous because somebody who has not all the information necessary can goof badly and see what happens to planet Lucifer. And this planet has a world on it right now which is kind to humans because when the last change of dimension was programmed by the Egyptians, the Atlanteans interfered and made this world a world of humans only.
Okay.
Now, the thing is, in order to program a world, somebody must live in this world in physical form. But the ones who can do the programming, because they have access to all the information, all the knowledge of the universe, preferably have to be in a parallel world in a spiritual state of existence, and then they contact the one person in this world who is something like a hub to get all the spiritual programs that they have established into this world. So this person who is doing this introduction of all these spiritual patterns into this world is the most important part of the deal, because without him the programs cannot be entered into this world, and without this person the spiritual patterns for the next world to come don't become valid. And I'm that person.
You're the hub, basically, that programs.
I'm the hub of the whole thing.
And he's on our show.
How about that?
Well, one day when you guys have grown up,
Okay.
you will think back to this occasion, and you will realize that this is the highlight and the biggest moment in your life.
Oh my God, I hope not.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man. Wow. Trent, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, man.
All right.
I'm fine.
Chuck was just reading this. Says here that she was talking about Blavatsky again. She regularly contrasts Aryan with Semitic culture to the detriment of the latter, asserting that Semitic peoples are an offshoot of Aryans who have become, quote, degenerate in spirituality and perfected in materiality.
Yuck.
Also sorted the races of the world by their...
Spare me such garbage, please. Yeah?
It just sounded, familiar.
No, it's really garbage, and one shouldn't say these things.
Okay.
All right, I've got a question.
That's fine.
Because the Jews, for instance, are very, very spiritual. It's very different from what I do, but these are very spiritual persons.
Well, I've got a question from our chat room. This is from AJ. Where and how did the animals come about in the world? Do they just overflow from the last world?
Oh, that's a tricky and a very good question, because right now I'm really at the point where I have a big problem. Every world evolves its own physical and biological and geographical feature. So the different worlds can have a different geography. They have different animals which evolve in this world. So now the question that this person puts is a very tricky one. Can some animals or can some living being change over from one world to another one? And you probably are familiar with dragons.
Yes. Yes.
Dragons are dinosaurs, and they're dinosaurs of a species called Scapognathus. And this is a world of mammals. So the big question that I'm right now trying to figure out is, how did dinosaurs come into this world?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because many people believe that dragons were just figments of imagination. But that's not true. For instance, on the main square in Klagenfurt in Austria, there's the monument, the life-size monument of a dragon that was killed around 1200, and it's 45 feet long, and it's clearly a dinosaur. And it clearly lived at that time, because the name of the city Klagenfurt, if you translate it, it means lament away, which means lament because this animal killed so many people, so many animals. It even went after a funeral to the graveyard, dug up the corpses, and ate them.
Wow.
So when this animal was killed, the lament was away, and that place where it was killed was called Klagenfurt, lament away, and it became the main city of Carinthia.
Interesting.
And it's there, and you can, if you go to the internet, all you need to do is you type Klagenfurt, and then you will see the city with the main square, and on the main square there's that animal.
How do you spell that, Rich?
Klagenfurt.
Okay. Well, that's, on the subject of dragons, I mean, our even in European history, and I think I brought this up last time, but I'm going to bring it up again. There's a lot of myths about great heroes slaying dragons. For example, Beowulf slew Fafnir or something like that, and then
Fafnir was killed by
Siegfried.
Siegfried.
Okay, my bad.
What happened to Roy?
Never mind. Beowulf slew a dragon. Siegfried slew a dragon.
He did something else. He cleansed the Sund between Denmark and Sweden. He killed all the dragons that were there, because during one of the passages between these two countries, a dragon, or a water dragon, rose out of the water and grabbed his brother from those open Viking ships and ate him right in front of him.
And also,
Beowulf so mad that he started a campaign to kill all the dragons.
And also, what's the other one? Oh yeah, St. George, who slew a dragon. So
yeah,
all these dragons are one specific kind of a dinosaur. You're saying all these dragons?
They're called Scapognathus.
Okay. Well, what about things like, for example, going back to Beowulf, the thing like the Grendel? What is that? Is that another animal passing through the change of worlds?
I read a story of Grendel the other day. There was some association between Grendel and the dragon, but the information is quite murky, so I don't know what to make of it.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
But it seems that Grendel was not a nice guy.
No, he was pretty nasty.
How long did it take you to come up with all this, Rich?
Well, I worked with all this for about 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
And when did you first meet your contact person?
Well, it came about very, very gradual. When we came from Austria, we stayed in Washington D.C. for a while, and my first contact with the spirit world, I didn't believe actually that where any spirit was. I went with my daughter to buy her a late Christmas present because it was the 24th of December, and I saw a game in the corner. It said Ouija board.
Oh,
no idea what it was, and I bought it for her, and I wrapped it up, and
I knew I'd find the root of a problem if I looked hard enough.
Wait, it comes better.
I'm sure it did. Go ahead.
We were, the Countess d'Armécourt, the widow of the former French ambassador to Washington, D.C., threw a Christmas party, and since we are nearly family with them, she had our presents under her Christmas tree. And when Victoria, my daughter, opened her present, she took me aside and said, "Rich, this is not a present for children. This is a very serious thing." And she warned me about it.
Someone's got some
made
sense.
Me very curious. So when we came home, the Christmas present for my daughter was struck, and it became mine. And my wife and I sat down and saw whether we could get some movement of the indicator. And sure enough, for about 2-3 hours, it moved slowly from one level to the next, and then I tried to make some sense of it, and it really annoyed me that the letters did not form into words for me. So I said to my wife, "Let's stop. This is nonsense." And she said, "Let me look at this." I said, "You want to read this if I can't?" And she looked at it, and she said, "Yeah, I can read it because it doesn't surprise me that you don't know what to make of it. This is Hungarian."
Oh.
Speaks fluently Hungarian.
Interesting.
So your first bout with demon possession began with the purchase of the Ouija board.
It was not demon possession.
Oh, demon contact.
I learned how to weed out any contacts with demons. It's a very easy way, and if you want me to tell you and your viewers or listeners how to get rid of demons or bad spirits, it's easy, and I can tell you how it works.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear that. Go for it.
Okay. Every person in living in material form has a chemical metabolism which makes it have strong spiritual energies. The spirits don't have that metabolism, and the negative spirits get energies by scaring people, because if they scare people, people release negative energies and they absorb it. Now, but if you have in contact, like say you're on the Ouija board and this negative spirit comes, the first question should be, are you a negative spirit? And they have to say yes.
The demons do not lie, just like Lucifer can't tell a lie.
No, they have. You force them with the power of your mind to give it the right answer.
You force this age-old demon with the power of your mind.
Now wait. If someone says yes to the question whether it's a bad spirit, all you say is get lost. They hear nothing more than these words. Because you know why?
Why?
Because it disorients them.
Saying get lost disorients them.
Yes, if you say to a negative spirit, you get lost, he gets lost.
But I thought demons sort of,
and you get rid of him.
I thought they basically prided themselves or whatever
on manipulation,
on manipulation, deception, and
lies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
trickery.
how I thought demons how operated, really.
Yes, that's how they operate. But if you ask him whether he's a good spirit or a bad spirit, and he has to give you the answer, I'm a bad spirit. And then they get lost, and he's gone.
So it's kind of like if you're buying drugs and you ask if the guy's a cop, right? He has to tell you, yeah. You've heard that, right? You know, you hear it on TV all the time. Let me assure my listeners that is not true. Okay, that is a lie. If you're buying drugs and you say, "Are you a police officer?" and they say no, and they are a cop, you will still get arrested. Okay?
Yeah.
TV lies, and as do some of our guests.
I don't have any experience in that field, but I know how to get rid of it.
You surprise me sometimes, Rich. Don't you find it funny, Rich, that the way that you describe first meeting this contact, and I mean, let's just logically talk about it. The way you described meeting this contact to tell you all these things was through a Ouija board, and we all know that Ouija boards in general are where a lot of demon possessions and a lot
really
of
bad things happen.
Yeah, that's where they emanate from.
It's dangerous stuff, and I don't recommend it to anybody.
But do you still use the Ouija board?
Oh no! For many years, it was just the beginning,
the gateway.
So I knew it. So I knew something like that existed. It didn't take long, and I had communication, and the contact said, Don't use the board. The telepathist can communicate with me directly, and I didn't know who the telepathist was. And then they told me. And
don't you see that this is part of the problem? You don't know who the telepathist is.
Yeah, they have to tell you, because who thinks of himself of being a telepathist? I didn't. Now I know.
But that's why it doesn't concern you that you may be telepathically communicating with something demonic.
Well, I know when I'm communicating, who I'm communicating with.
Well, I mean, how do you know that?
Well, from the energies. For instance, I had several communications with the devil. And
you've spoken with the devil.
Spoken with the devil. Well,
yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah, that's what did he say?
If you go to my book, God's Ultimate Task, the last page is a dictation that came from the devil.
Huh.
Well, give our listeners an overview of that.
Yeah.
Well, the devil acknowledged his defeat.
Huh.
And you should read that page. It's very interesting. If you don't have it, I send it to you.
I think if you could send it to us, do you think you could send it to us on our last break? Would you have time to do that? Just that page?
Right now?
Yeah. Well, if you can, if you can on our last break here in about 8 minutes.
Well, I can. Yeah, during the next break, I send it to you.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
That's interesting.
But that's just what I wonder about, because I do have another thing in our chat room there to ask about, and I don't know how similar this is to the problem here. We talked about, ask what you thought about UFOs, vampires, and werewolves, etc.
Huh. Yeah. Well, that's a weird mixture.
Yeah.
Because werewolves is not my league.
Werewolves is not your league.
What about vampires?
Not my league either.
But UFOs?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've been on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you go to my book, The End of the World and What, there's one chapter which says it's something about contact with extraterrestrials, and it shows you. It gives you a description of my abduction.
Well, what do you think the UFOs? What kind of role do you think they play in this change of worlds?
They are preparing to take over the planet.
Now, are they the ones who are?
So they're bad aliens.
Yeah.
Are they manufacturing humans so they can live here and inhabit bodies? I think that's what Dee is asking.
Partly, yes.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to send you right now that.
The page. Okay, yeah, okay. That'd be great.
Not just the page. I send you the whole book because I cannot.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's fine.
That's fine.
But it's on the last page of that book, right?
You just go to the last page, but then you have a lot of interesting pages in there that you can look as well.
Okay.
Okay.
It's World of the Unexplained
at gmail.com.
While I was doing that, guys, you want to call in and talk to Rich Anders, the numbers are 1-877-722-7382. or locally 336-996-1596.
And we're just getting cranked up.
Yeah.
So we've still got a whole half hour left after this next break.
Yeah, we're building it, you know.
Yeah.
Just
like a...
letting the drama.
Just like Jimmy Carter. We're building it. Anyway, all right. You know, the houses he builds for the poor people.
He's a good man.
He is a good guy. Yeah, I know. He's been getting his nose into politics, and he really shouldn't. But, you know, I will say that Jimmy Carter...
Didn't he say that George Bush was the worst president?
Yeah, well, George Bush is probably the worst president.
Even worse than Millard Fillmore?
I don't know.
That guy was pretty lame.
I'm the worst president in my lifetime. Anyway, Carter was a terrible leader.
Yeah, but he's a good man, but a bad leader.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I think he's a good guy.
I mean, he is a good guy.
Oh, yeah, you know what I meant.
We know the guy.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to Carter
personally
last week on the phone.
I talked to him I went visit
Jim, what's up?
his peanut farm and wherever.
Rural Georgia, yeah.
He lives somewhere in Georgia.
Brought the evangelicals into the White House.
He did bring the evangelicals in the White House. Good man. Oh, yeah, we were talking about, I meant to mention the fact that I was telling Chuck that I went to the Liberty University website now, and apparently there are graduating ABA accredited lawyers now. So they're just as primed to practice as anybody from an ABA school.
But I thought all lawyers went to hell, Scott.
Jay, check your email.
I'm sorry. Oh, I will check my email right now, Rich. Okay. Let's do this.
I really thought all lawyers went to hell, Scott.
No, they don't.
Shame the bottom to see, man.
You guys are wonderful. I love you. I do.
Hey, Scott, we love you too, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the email.
Okay,
Rich. It might take. It's going to take a second probably before I get it. But go ahead, Trent. You can pick up for a second.
Well, what was I talking about? Okay, so all right, so we're talking about the change of worlds. There's another change of worlds going to happen. Polarized caps are going to shift from north-south to some other direction. There's going to be cataclysms. Going to be chaos everywhere. What's going on there, Rich, with that?
Well, a change of worlds is about the worst cataclysm that can happen on the surface of the planet, and many people will die, and. The next change of world will be a special one because the ones that qualify to be transferred to the kingdom of God, as it's called, or to the paradise, will not experience the disasters and the cataclysm because they will be taken from the surface of this world, will remain for a time in a suspended in an energetic state of existence. And when the surface, the world of the paradise materializes on the surface of this planet, they will materialize as well, and they will have a new life.
Now,
that's called resurrection.
Okay, well, how are these people? How are these people going to be prepared? You know, what do they have to do to get it? What do they have to do for this to happen? For them to go there?
Well, they had to do something. They cannot do anything anymore. They had to do something. You're probably familiar with something called the Ten Commandments?
Yes.
Never heard of. Yeah, we're familiar with the Ten Commandments.
Well, those are not the 10 suggestions. Those are the 10 commandments by God.
I think that's. I've been saying that for a while.
And if you have a good record and you have enough positive energies that you got by living the right kind of life, you can make it into the next world.
So basically,
if you're being a bad boy, you stay here and you'll be dead.
Oh, okay. So it's basically by following the Ten Commandments and doing good things around
being a good person.
Being a good person, you're going to go to heaven. It's got nothing to do with
to heaven, to paradise.
To paradise. I'm sorry.
What happens if that happens and I die a violent death?
Oh, wait a minute.
But if you do follow the Ten Commandments and you die a violent death, you still go to hell, though, right?
Yes, but you can get out of there.
Okay.
Thank God we know you, Rich.
Yeah, that's true.
It worked for Frank Sinatra.
Princess Di.
For a lot of other people, like Kennedy Jr. and his wife and his sister-in-law, those out over there as well. And
what about Gandhi?
Huh?
Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi?
Gandhi? No, he's not. He
left him in there.
He's not. He's an Indian from India, so he's not a servant can member. I cannot do anything for him.
Oh, really? So Gandhi's in hell?
I don't know, probably.
Oh, okay. Well,
all the Indians are in hell, Trent.
Oh.
No.
No, I don't say so. I'm not familiar with this concept of afterlife in India. They might have their own Messiah. They might have their own hell and heaven. I don't know.
But you can't help anybody who's Indian.
I've got another question
okay.
from our chat room,
Okay.
Rich. It's from John. The question is, what about the quote great old ones?
Oh, is he talking about Cthulhu? And
I have no
all those people?
idea.
Great what?
The great old ones.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Well, I'm. Okay,
We've got to go to break. We'll get back to that.
Scott's
after
got
the
to pull
break.
up that email.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pull up the email.
We'll
We'll be
talk
right
about
back, guys, after this. Last half hour, World of the Unexplained. Give us a call, 877-SCARE-U2. That's 877-722-7382.
And we're back. Okay, we have returned. I'm sorry.
Well,
I did it again.
Where we want to go. I sent you this thing, this treatise about personal salvation. Would you want to talk about that?
Okay, well, hold on. Let me throw the numbers up again. 1-877-722-7382. 1-877-722-7382. Or the local number is 336-996-1596. I want to make sure that I got that real clear because we haven't gotten a caller.
Yeah, Trent wants me to taunt you and aggravate you guys.
Yeah, I do.
So you call in. Anyway, you know what the numbers are. 877-SCARE-U2. That's all you need to know. Call in.
Yeah.
We'll, yeah. Boo. All right.
That was it.
Anyway.
Okay.
They'll call. I'm gonna post the numbers here in the chat room as well. So remember to dial the 1 first, guys. I do. Well, let's talk about this personal salvation.
Personal
idea,
salvation.
Rich.
Let's talk about that.
It seems to me that your way doesn't involve Christ.
Why not?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is it could or could not. It doesn't matter, right?
No, it does involve Christ. He's the one who does it all.
Yeah, but the only reason he does it all is because you believe in him and a lot of other people believe in him, according to your logic, right?
Well, there's one thing that you should know. It's do you remember that? Maybe you've read that in the Bible. Then Jesus said, "My Father and I are one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something. Write it down because it will be fascinating reading for you. There's a guy by the name of Peter Novak.
Peter Novak. Okay.
And he has a theory which is called he wrote a book called no, it's not here. Just go on the internet, you find on the division theory.
The division
theory.
I think Chuck is familiar with this. That's why we keep him around.
Yeah.
He's a pagan and he's familiar with all these
exactly
things.
is division theory, Rich?
Okay, according to Peter Novak, and I believe he's right. A big spiritual entity can split off little slivers of its entity that can incarnate as a separate person. And according to the theory, and I believe it's true, Jesus was not just the Son of God the Almighty. He was a sliver that his Father split off, which incarnated in this world.
Okay, hang on a second, Rich.
If he comes back to Atlantis, this sliver will be united with the Father again. They will be one. So you won't have a God the Father and God the Son after the change of worlds. You will just have one superior God.
We got a caller. We've got Ron from Raleigh. Ron, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's going pretty good, Jay. How's the show going, man?
It's
pretty
it's
good.
Going.
You got a question for Rich, Ron?
Well, sort of. I mean, Christ is totally unorthodox from what I'm used to. How do you feel about the congregational churches? What do you see for a congregational church in the future? You start talking about Jesus. What do you really feel about Jesus?
Well, in the next world, there won't be any religion, because God will live in a physical form in the same world as humans, and there's no need anymore to make any changes. So there won't be any organized religion.
People that believe in Him, anyway.
Oh, well, everybody will believe in Him, but there's no need
between us. Like if Jay and I talk, the Spirit of Christ is between us right there. It's not like He's ever really anywhere far from us to start with. So does that mean we're already in this new world, or what?
I didn't understand that. Could you repeat, please?
I said that when two Christians talk, the Spirit of Jesus is between them already. So if we're already there and we already have the Spirit of Christ constantly between us, aren't we already in that new world?
No, not at all. You're in the old rotten world where we are right now. This is a negative world.
Are you sure I'm the one in the old rotten world?
What? What?
I said, are you sure I'm the one in the old rotten world?
Yeah, we are all in the same old rotten world, and I'm waiting for the splendid, beautiful, good new world to come. And everybody who is positive enough will go there. And I think, for instance, Jay seems to be a real nice guy, so I assume I will meet him there.
But I'm not.
But Trent, you're going straight to hell. No.
All right. Rather serve and...
Oh, no.
Paradise Lost. Everybody loves it.
I'm sorry?
I said I was just calling in to say hello. I didn't mean to come in and be a raider on your show.
Oh, no, man, that's fine.
That's fine,
we wanted people to call in. Thanks for calling, Ron. I think it might be your phone's we're getting a kind of a weird hum. It might be our line again. I might have to call somebody and get it fixed. But thanks for calling, Ron. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
Yeah, God bless you guys. Good night.
Thank you. You too.
Right, see you, Ron.
All right, yeah, I don't know. Are you guys hearing that buzz out there in the chat room? Do you guys hear that buzz when someone calls? It wasn't on the phone when he was talking to you? Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, it must be the line. Anyway.
Well, no, if it was the line, it would be on the phone. I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
Let us know if you heard that weird buzz. How about that?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Jesus plays a role in the whole salvation thing, according to Rich Anders, because of this whole division.
He's the hub of the whole thing. Without him, it doesn't work.
Okay. Without. Okay. Yeah, we thought you were the hub, Rich.
Oh boy.
I thought that's what you were saying earlier.
Let's not discuss this.
Oh. Oh, why not?
I don't feel comfortable discussing it.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
All right. Well, no. I mean, I was just saying you were talking about being the hub earlier.
Of the programming.
Could you please change the subject?
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we can change the subject then. So without Christ, then there's no salvation possible.
That's correct.
Okay. Because he's the hub.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Are there other hubs?
Or is it just him?
No, there's only one real hub, that's Jesus.
Okay, only one real hub. All right. Okay. Well, that about does that.
I guess. Well,
Oh, Rich, we're gonna have to go here, but I'm gonna give you the last word here. So.
And I'm sorry. What are you doing here in the next?
Yeah. Did you ever get a hold of Wade Davis from the Serpent in the Rainbow?
He recommended me to go to somebody else, which I did, and it was very interesting because this guy there pointed out to me something that was very important, and I have to do some changes on the layout for the documentary, and I think it will get to be very good. You can check your email again because I just sent you just the last page.
Okay, I'm looking at it now. I still don't have anything.
Oh, that stinks too. I mean, I would have talked about that.
I would have too. But Rich, we're going to have you back on again, if that's okay, sometime in the future.
We'll talk about something else. But
Rich, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Would that be okay with you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Well,
I enjoy talking to you. Except today it was not quite. I wasn't quite my usual self because I was running forth and back between the Dancing with the Stars and you.
Oh, wait a minute. I just got your email, Rich. Here we go. Let's see here. I am Sator, the negative principle.
That's right.
Okay, let's see here. He says, I am Sator, the negative principle, commonly known as the devil. Extremely powerful spiritual mechanisms force me to make the following spiritual announcement. Universes originate in powerful explosions, so-called Big Bangs. Because of this violent origin, every universe up to now had the fate of finding an equally violent end, collapsing into what science calls a singularity. These cycles of creation and destruction have been going on ever since the first encounter of positive and negative spiritual energies brought forth the first Big Bang. For the first time ever, a universe will not end collapse into singularity. The present universe will experience a change from the present negative dimension to a positive dimension. God the Almighty has defeated me. No more can I achieve the ultimate goal of my existence, which is the destruction of everything there is. The change of dimensions is imminent. It will bring the end of everything negative, including myself. The change will bring the undisputed, total, and everlasting reign of God the Almighty over the entire universe, which will last forever in peace and harmony. Signed, Seder the Devil.
Huh.
How do you like that?
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong words, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was one of the, I think it was 4 times that he came through and talked to me, and but I think this was the strongest message that he had to say, and I'm actually very proud that I was able to get it through, because it's very difficult to talk to him, because he has very insidious energies. They make me sick.
A busy guy, too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Rich, we're going to go ahead and give you the final word, and then we're going to have to go.
Well, the final word is that we had a very interesting conversation tonight. I'm very pleased that you guys looked at my work, and I'm more pleased that you read aloud all over the internet, now, over the telephone or internet, whatever. The
Internet and radio, baby. Thank you again, KWSS.
The devil who acknowledges his defeat, because I can't explain to you why it's so important. When I talk to you, and it's a spiritual announcement, you know the Latin word pars pro toto?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it means one part stands for the whole. And in the spiritual realm, there is no time and there's no space. So if there's made a spiritual announcement, for instance, to you who is part of the media of this world, it is the same as if it were broadcasted through every single media outlet, either audio, video, or in writing. So this was an important thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rich Anders.
Been a pleasure.
We appreciate it. Have a good night.
Likewise. Good night.
Take care.
Good night.
Go dance with the stars there, buddy. All right. Wow. Yeah, he got a little touchy on that hub thing.
Didn't he?
I'm telling you, I think we're getting closer and closer to actually having someone hang up on us.
Rich would never do that to you.
I don't know if he would or not.
Well,
he's a good sport, man.
I don't know, man. He got real touchy there.
It was odd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was hitting on something there. Hit a nerve.
Not like that. So.
Yeah,
hit a nerve there.
He is a pretty good sport about things, you know?
Yeah, but he's just really, really lost, unfortunately.
I wonder if, that string theory is plausible, that there is a Jay and Trent World of the Unexplained in another dimension with Chuck and D, but it's slightly different. What do you?
Hair.
Yeah.
Chuck's no longer Barry White there.
Yeah. He's more like Abe Vigoda or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, you wonder. Are we doing this same broadcast?
Only if we were on a television show called Sliders.
Oh.
In the mid-'90s.
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
Peter Ustinov. That one, Peter Ustinov. Who was that guy?
Like Superman and what was his parallel version?
Oh, the
Bizarro.
evil Superman.
Bizarro, and he was
it's
all
like
square.
Spider-Man and Venom.
Well, Venom is an alien entity, though.
Well, that makes sense. I'd probably follow into the whole.
I guess so.
Yeah, aliens.
That's right, guys. We're broadcasting in the multiverse, world of the unexplained.
That's right, worldwide on the internet. And,
in any dimension you happen to be in, baby.
And worldwide on the internet, and yeah, internet telephone thing. That I don't know what that was about. If you go to our website, you'll see that we are carried by a couple radio stations out there.
A plethora,
I might add. I want to mention some of them. KWSS 106.7 FM in Scottsdale, Arizona. Thank you, guys. East Hill Radio, that's AM 1700. I think that's changed now. They're in Snoqualmie, Washington now. Ghost Radio X, that is an internet station. Fox FM 101.9. The Feed Radio, another internet provider. And Robin Valley, that's 1690 AM in Omaha.
Good old Robin Valley Community Radio.
And we're going to add more if people will take us. I notice I haven't updated the front page of this website since April 23rd.
I know, Scott. Apparently people are thinking, why are they talking to Linda as Dewey for the last 4 weeks? Or something,
just been, I don't want to update it anymore. I really don't. It's really kind of an aggravating thing to do. So I'm just going to try to leave it alone. I'm going to maybe I'll just put like live every Monday night from 8 to 10 Eastern.
As opposed to who's on.
And they can check the other thing. And, I really need to work on the scheduling of some of these guests, too. I've been kind of back and forth with a couple people, and we need to find out who's going to show up. You know what I mean? We're going to get all that together, though. I've been having some crazy things go on here recently in my life, so I've got to just kind of I do know that next week, Chuck better know his RV.
Yeah,
because,
Chuck. How many of those DVDs have you gone through?
Have you?
I've been through the first two.
The first two?
Oh, okay.
Hey, it was an upgrade there.
Yeah, you're going to have to go through all of them, though. And
Yeah, that's true. You do have a
I
week.
know how you are, though, Chuck. And then the week after that, we've got Jason Offutt. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The writer of Haunted Missouri.
That's a pretty good book.
It's a pretty good book. I looked through it the other day. Then June 11th, our first hour is going to be with Robbie Thomas. I don't know if I've put someone in that second hour or not. I can't remember.
That's
gonna be fun.
Our other guest will be Asmodiar.
June the 18th, Ron Hunter is going to be with us. And then Teresa Baines coming up. I do have her down for a certain date. I'll have to look and find out.
Dracula.
Yeah, I'll have to find out when that is. And I did finally get a hold of Paul Williams.
Paul Williams?
Yeah, his publisher. I finally got a hold of him. He's the guy that did Day of Islam. So that's going to be a fun show.
Oh, yeah, that will be fun. Yeah. I always like talking about geopolitics.
Yeah. So it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it. Chuck's happy about it.
You can see him right there. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. But, following the Ten Commandments is not going to get you to heaven, as one of our chat room listeners did. And
it'll make you a nice person and people like you.
Yeah, it will. But so will Amway. No,
oh, don't even get me started on Amway, okay?
I know.
Yeah. Gold microphones.
Gold microphones.
That church I was talking about
Just
the other
like
day?
Bob Barker.
That mega church? It was loosely affiliated with the Amway Corporation. And once again, I'm not going to explain what I was doing there.
So what were you doing there?
I was a secret agent.
Is it another hub, Trent?
trying to infiltrate Amway. Do some investigating reporting. Actually, it's not even called Amway anymore. I think it's called Quickstar or something now. Yeah,
they changed the name so people know it's not. They did, man. They rebrand the same thing.
Well, yeah, that way they can keep on
Still
dancing.
the same guy on top of the legal pyramid, we think.
Yeah, basically. I wonder if he's in league with the Illuminati.
I don't know.
Masons.
Those Masons, man. You got to watch out for them.
Because, Amway is very pyramidal and hierarchical. You know what I'm saying? Pyramidal. Is that it? Yeah. As or pertaining to the nature of a pyramid. But, I wonder if they're in league with the Masons. No one ever talks about that.
I don't know, but it takes too long to go through their products.
Yeah, and it's super expensive.
Is it really? I've never been a member of Amway.
Yeah, those products are really, really, really expensive, and honestly, it's they make a lot of it. And I'm not going to say their products are bad or good. They're just way too expensive, and it's just easier to go to a store and buy them.
I really don't know anything about it.
You need 1,000 feet of aluminum foil.
If you need 1,000 feet of aluminum foil, it's good.
Yeah, because I use it every.
Wrap your house up to keep
exactly.
from the aliens.
If you need, right, and see that
medical hat.
Maybe that's interesting because maybe the Masons are in league with Amway, and that's why they make 1,000 feet of aluminum foil to get people to make the hats.
We should get
mind
the guy.
control rays.
We should get the guy from Amway to come on the show.
Oh, wouldn't that be crazy?
We'll get the guy from Amway.
He's never going to do it.
The CEO.
Come on, Scott.
Yeah. There's got to be a CEO.
Get a representative, man.
Yeah, we probably
of the
could.
Amway. That's.
I still want to get Tom Cruise on and talk about Scientology.
Yeah,
great.
There's that guy that was on Joshua Warren's show, who was
a former
Scientologist.
We could probably get him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He must not have had any dirt on him.
No,
He didn't care.
or he might have just said like, "Man, I don't care."
Did you see that one thing of BBC apparently was doing a documentary on Scientology?
What was that
and
about?
the guy that was doing the documentary, the anchor, he got into a shouting match with one of these Scientology guys. They had the video all over Google and YouTube and all that. Yeah.
Really?
They got into a shouting match. Yeah.
Huh.
I think I saw it on like Fox News.
Did the Scientologist use laser beams from his eyes or something?
No, they were. He was apparently he was following. They were following him around or something. I don't know exactly the whole deal, but
Travolta had in that film.
But I know the BBC guy didn't come off looking too good because he was like shouting. He was probably
he lost his cool.
He did, and he was
lost
probably
his professional
4 or 5 inches from this guy's face, just shouting in his face.
That's not very
BBC
professional.
Was?
The BBC guy was to the Scientologist.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
And of course they were taping it.
Right.
They've got all these guys standing around with little camcorders. It's like woo, it's like Men in Black or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay.
These Scientology guys are weird.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like I say before.
Exactly. Look here. Yeah.
It's like I say before. Salvation can be achieved if you can survive the lava man. That's my whole.
Is that your new book?
No, that's my whole phrase about Scientology. Explaining Scientology basically like that.
I don't really know what it is other than buying your way into certain.
I think lava men have something to do with it somewhere.
I really don't know anything about Scientology.
I mean, well, look, it's
Drugs and rehab have a lot to do with it. It's Hollywood born agains, man.
Hollywood born, yeah.
Huh?
But if Jesus isn't in Scientology, then there's nothing good about it.
What about the Mormons then, man?
Oh,
the Mormons, they're they're different. They're strange. Yeah. What about the
done.
newsletter?
It's done. I mean, it's been done. I'm sorry, I haven't sent it.
You haven't sent it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to edit it, so I got to do it.
No,
myself.
but I always tack on my own stuff to it. Though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Yeah, you spell check. That might help.
Well, yeah, but I didn't really solve the grammatical issues though.
Damn grammar check.
I just don't. I don't think I like that. Honestly.
Then just use proper grammar and spelling, and you'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Since I live in a cave and everything, completely incapable of.
Rock, have you seen that commercial? Where they're at a dinner and the guy makes some comment about where you been, living under a rock, and they go back.
Yeah, no, he's at a rock. Yeah.
Oh, there's another one like that. And he's sitting there. It's this guy in a business suit on a bench, and the guy's, "What were you raised in a barn? Raised by wolves?" And then all of a sudden, it's the guy, the same guy in the suit, sitting there nursing on a wolf and like running around with a bunch of wolf cubs. And he says, like, "Yes, I am. I was." I don't know really where that was going, but anyway, next week we got Brent Miller, and then no.
Yeah, it is Brent Miller.
It is Brent Miller.
Yeah, that's why Chuck's got to learn the RV, man. And Chuck, we want you. We do. Well, not just any lottery though. Here's what we want. North Carolina's got this $1 million thing.
This $1 million?
Have you heard about this? Yeah, it's on July the 4th. That's what it is. You buy 20. The tickets are $20 each, and you buy these things, and then the chances of winning $1 million. There's going to be, I think, 4 prizes of $1 million, and the amount, 4 $1 million prizes. The odds in this, I think, is 1 in 125,000.
That's actually pretty low.
So those are good. Yeah, they're good odds. That's why the tickets are $25. Yeah, you would have $500,000 probably after taxes, because they're going to tax it. Yeah, they're going to tax it to death, like they do everything that we have. Government likes taxes, but if you can RV that for us.
That's what.
I don't know how that works. I don't know if you pick your own numbers. I think what it is, there's just a certain number of tickets they have to sell, and that's it. And I think that's how they can come up with those odds.
So that might be the truth.
Could get it though. What's the guarantee you could get that?
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't know.
Well, the number, guys, is 439712222.
But no, see, if you did come up with a number though, then we would announce it first, and then when it did happen and it was that number, we could fact check it, and then people would be like, "Oh my gosh, this RV stuff works." And Chuck, you would be you'd be on the Tonight Show, man.
You would be.
Yeah.
Hawking that product.
That's right, man. That's right. You'd also be on there hawking our show, but
better be. I got some friends in Moscow. I'll call.
That's right.
You know.
That's so gay. Oh man.
That sounds like a really bad comedy on cable access somewhere. What do you think?
Okay. For a Comedy Central.
Yeah, Comedy Central show. That's so gay. It'll be right up there with Lil Bush. Seems like a winner, doesn't it?
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, that's horrible. Anyway,
we're gonna
long bumpy road to nowhere.
It was. We're gonna get on out of here. Tune in next week for Chuck's RV skills. I'm not gonna laugh. I just know how slack you can be, man. I want to see you actually do it. This is Jay Scott, your only JD DJ Esquire or whatever you want to. I'm gonna have to change my tagline. I'm just getting tired of it.
Yeah. You should call yourself Lord Excelsior.
All right.
And I'll call myself Vice Principate.
This is Trent Lackey, the hub of your reality. No. Go ahead.
Yeah,
man.
the stars emanating. Okay, this is Trent Lackey. Once again, we're coming to you from Kernersville, North Carolina. Once again, it's a small town. Once again, we're talking about big things.
And once again, we have no music.
That was a good time to finish it. All right.
It's just start something. What did you just stop it every now and then? And that I'm not going to ask how you came up with that, Chuck. Anyway, the proverbial moment. Mr. Chuck Browder.
We out.